New Patreon. Yes, the next part of this color manga is available right now on my new Patreon to watch straight after this episode. This has been a hugely requested addition, but now you can finally see Ultra Vegito the way it was meant to. Every scene colored perfect to anime standards, just how I imagined it when I first drew it. So join now and be the first to see every episode from just $3 with more and more access at higher tiers. Link is in the description below and pinned comment. Enjoy. So our story continues with us seeing the once calm and collected angel Mojito, with a look of despair as he whimpers at just seeing his own god die before his eyes. Still grabbing tightly onto the energy ring around his neck, struggling fruitlessly to escape now that all his angelic powers have left him. Ultra Vegito meanwhile remains in the air, still in position, staring at the bloody mess that is now Seadra, and with a signature smirk lets out, "Wow! Look at all that blood, Seadra! And here I thought you were only full of crap." As following this, Vegito then raises his arm, slowly saying as he does, "But I think it's time to say our final goodbyes. Don't you think, Angel?" "What? No! Leave Lord Seadra alone! You've done enough, you monster!" Leaving Mojito to scream and struggle in anguish in the background even more as the heartless Vegito continues to raise his arm until Hakai! With a thunderous roar, Ultra Vegito shouts the final words he reserves for all gods after killing them, using their own technique to send them to the realm of nothingness. And like clockwork, Seadra's deceased and decapitated body then proceeds to disintegrate to dust. Like a sandcastle breaking down, the once god of destruction of Universe 9 is nothing more than a memory now. No! No! Lord Seadra! I failed you. As one final time, the angel Mojito, who had attended to Seadra for millennia, now watches as his life as he knows it is changed for eternity, seeing not only his lord, but his student and friend be erased forever. Eventually leaving Vegito, standing with his arm out and with Seadra now completely gone, as Vegito finally says, "Now! Let's move on to you, Mojito. Want me to take your head off first? Or do you prefer an old-fashioned Hakai while you're still alive?" Vegito! But now that sorrow and sadness has shifted completely to complete rage and anger, unbefitting of an angel, as his emotions take over him and he responds, You demon! Mark my words, you will pay for this! Your time is coming soon, Vegito. The minute my father arrives will be your last minute in existence. For what you did to the gods and myself, you will pay for 1,000 lifetimes! But Vegito, upon hearing this, is almost excited by the words, not bothered in the slightest by these same threats all the gods have made to him before, as he sarcastically responds, "Oh, I'm quaking in my boots, Mojito. Not your big bad midget for a father. Oh, whatever will I do?" "Struggle and say all you want, Angel. You know as well as I do, this is the end for you. If I were you, I'd have made my last words a lot more positive than those. But each to their own, I guess. Enjoy nothingness, you weakling." As Vegito, just like before, begins raising his hand, ready to close it at any instant and snap off Mojito's head identically to Seadra's. upping the tension as he grimaces his face, staring at Mojito and yells, "Huh?" But suddenly something happens. Vegito's face becomes full of shock as on his left shoulder, blood begins to pour out. But from what? Let go of my brother, demon! What? As out of nowhere, what appears to be a young girl suddenly falls from the sky, wielding a familiar staff that effortlessly cuts through Vegito's arm like butter, shockingly severing it completely from the God Killer as he watches it separate in complete shock. You! My arm! You! Leaving him to be left unable to even form coherent sentences from the completely unexpected turn of events. As it is soon revealed, finally, the young girl is none other than Kusu, the Angel of Universe 10 who was mysteriously missing from action when Vegito assassinated Rampage, an overlooked mistake he will now regret for the rest of his life. As Kusu continues, "I'll be taking those rings back now, Vegito, even if it means with your arm itself too. I have no idea why Lord Rampage instructed me to stay when he went to confront you, but nothing will hold me back now from protecting my siblings." "Kusu, I thought you had died. There's no way." The sudden arrival, of course, of the petite angel causes Mojito to instantly question in disbelief whether what he sees is really his older sister or just a last, fleeting apparition before his untimely death. But eventually, Kusu moves from the stunned, in paralysis from the shocked Vegito and flies straight towards her brother, yelling, "Mojito, are you okay?" Which immediately then validates Mojito's thoughts as he yells back with a beaming smile, "Kusu, it really is you! I can't believe it! Good going on injuring that monster! You really saved me, sister!" Eventually, as Kusu arrives next to Mojito, she attempts to calm down her brother, who still clings onto the energy collar around his neck, as she explains the situation that went down in her own universe, saying, "Of course, I wouldn't let my little brother go out like that. This Vegito has already managed to erase Lord Rampage, and even killed 2 Supreme Kais while he was at it too. Lord Rampage had instructed me to stay put and not interfere under any circumstance, and as his attendant, I obeyed. But now that he's gone, I just couldn't stand by and watch anymore. Mojito, it's been a long time since we ever fought together in our training days with Father. But today, we'll put an end to this together, for the sake of all our brothers and sisters." But hearing this, Mojito can't help but still look at Kusu with confusion and replies, "Kusu? He just killed Lord Sidra, and you're saying he killed Rampage too? Then what do you mean, sister? We can stop him as we are now. You know as well as I do, as soon as our god dies, our angelic powers instantly become inactive. I am completely powerless right now, and so should you. It's a big mystery how you were even able to damage Vegito like that. What's going on?" Kusu, though, seemingly anticipating such a line of questioning, just smiles back and replies, "Haha, well, that would be the case normally. But many years ago, Father told me that within my staff, and a number of others, he built certain emergency functions. I do not know the powers the other angels have, but he told me mine was to manually reactivate our angel abilities, but only for 48 hours. Again, he made it clear that it had to be used only in the most necessary of situations, but with Father not having done anything about this monster yet, I'd say this was more an emergency than any. My only issue is, I've expended most of my time by now. But for you, once I reactivate your powers, you'll have a full 48. You need to use it wisely, Mojito. And after hearing this explanation, rather than worry about the time limit, Mojito looks at Kusu with a smile and says, So the rumors were true. Father really did have his favorites. I was never given any special powers, but I guess Father never really did bother to talk to me much. But you, Kusu, what a ridiculous power to have embedded solely for his little Miss Perfect. No matter about the 48 hours, that along with whatever time you have left should be more than enough. 2 on 1, and this now one-armed Vegito fellow will be done for. Let's do this, Kusu! To which Kusu then nods back with a serious look and replies, Got it, brother. Now stand still. This will be quick. And with that, Kusu immediately fires off a beam of divine white aura from the palm of her hand. As instantly, the energy ball hits and surrounds Mojito in the iconic Ultra Instinct aura we know the angels for, surprising even Mojito himself as he comments, You weren't kidding, Kusu. I can feel my energy return. No, I feel even stronger than before. This is outstanding. And so just like that, we then see for the first time dual angels, brother and sister, surrounded in divine mastered Ultra Instinct aura, ready to take on Vegito with all their might, with Kusu screaming, Alright, Mojito, I probably only have an hour left. For the sake of Father. No, for the sake of the entire multiverse, we will avenge our fallen brothers. To which Mojito gets his staff in position and replies, Certainly, my sister. I will enjoy this demon's final moments. God damn it! But meanwhile, back with Vegito, the adrenaline from the shock of seeing what Kusu did to him finally fades, and the pain and burn of his now blood-spewing shoulder begins to set in, as he clutches his shoulder to stem the blood and yells angrily, You! What have you done to me? My arm! My rings! You'll die 1,000 deaths for this, angel! And now the look of anger never before seen so intensely on Vegito's face, as veins bulge over not only his face, but in the whites of his eyes too, he lets out intimidatingly, First, your damn daddy locks me up for 10 years of my life, making your own brother Whis off himself just to make things right, and then you take my entire family away from me for eternity, and now you undo what your own brother wished for and take away my own arm from me too! Why don't you damn angels just accept your punishment and die already? And with just one arm still leaking a trail of blood, Vegito rushes in at the two angels, angrier than ever. But unfortunately, weaker too than ever after training for a year non-stop in the GT timeline, surviving a planetary Hakai and Hakaiing Lord Sidra, all without a second of rest. And ultimately the two angels, in all their wisdom, know this too, smiling without a hint of fear in their heart as Vegito approaches, with Kusu thinking, and here, the fool finally comes. Yeah! With Vegito beginning with an enraged punch that uncharacteristically misses under the exceptional movements of Kusu's Ultra Instinct, with the little girl commenting, Too slow, God Killer. And as her confidence grows, a smirk comes across her lips as she continues, I guess since you're missing an arm, I don't need to worry about a follow-up attack. I guess it's my turn now then. As suddenly, with alarming speed and power, Kusu swings her staff right at Vegito. For a moment, Vegito is left frozen. He wonders if he does anything to stop the staff, will it just slice through him again? Not this time, you witch! But ultimately, he brings his arm up at the last second, knowing as long as he isn't caught off guard and his arm is imbued with his ki, her staff will not cut through anything. But unfortunately, even with that block, there was nothing in the way now to defend himself on the other side as Kusu instinctively follows up with a kick that lands, sending Vegito flying as he thinks, damn it! I haven't got used to having one arm yet! I still think it's there when it's not! I can't fight like this! I need to! What? But before Vegito can even finish his thoughts, right behind him appears Mojito. He too gripping his angel staff with both hands until... Vegito is slammed on the back of his neck with a blow that would normally leave anyone paralyzed, as Vegito coughs out blood and momentarily loses consciousness, being sent now flying uncontrollably toward the depths of space. Sister, it's working just as you thought. Father would be proud. This mortal upstart doesn't even stand a chance. To which Kusu, with an even bigger smile, replies, hahaha, and only barely 10 minutes have passed, brother. We still have plenty of time to finish this, and have some fun with him too. As the two ferociously continue to chase after Vegito's vulnerable flailing body, still not satisfied with the damage they've already inflicted on the Saiyan. Eventually though, Vegito manages to regain himself in the midst of space, staring into his impending fate as both angels rush in. In the brief seconds he has left, he continues to think to himself, no, this isn't how this was supposed to go. I've lost too much blood and energy. Surprise attack after surprise attack has drained all my energy just trying to survive. And with one arm, I don't have a hope in hell of defending myself to pull off a win. What is even going on here? We said their powers should have deactivated the minute the gods died. It happened with Korn. Why isn't it the same here? Something is wrong, but I don't know what. I need to get out of here and regroup. Hello, God Killer! Miss us? But time is cut short, as in a flash, both Mojito and Kusu appear before the Saiyan menacingly, smiling from ear to ear knowing just how helpless the once feared God Killer now is. As Mojito says, now be a good boy and let me chop off that other arm too. I wouldn't want you to use those remaining time rings, would we, Kusu? Solar Flare! But while the cocky angels take their time threatening the thought to be helpless Vegito, the fused Saiyan unexpectedly takes a page from Tien Shinhan's book and unleashes an incredible bright light that blinds even the angels. No, Kusu! We took too long! As both Mojito and his sister close their eyes momentarily and cover them from the burning bright light, leaving Vegito finally some time to make his escape as he says to himself, got him! Enjoy seeing nothing but white lights, you freak! A little gift from one of your victims. His name was Tien. And just like that, Vegito rushes off, leaving the two angels in his dust, his arm still bleeding as he looks back knowing he can't even risk attacking them in this state. All he can do is run, whether he likes it or not. Over there! And within seconds, Vegito plots course to a random planet, below to find anywhere at all to hide or recover in some way. He still has some of the time rings left, but would he really escape without retrieving his arm to reattach? Eventually, Vegito arrives on the surface of the planet with a small thud, and for just a brief moment, he looks around to survey his surroundings, thinking, "What? This planet literally has no life force at all! It's nothing but rocks! Barely anywhere to get some space!" As Vegito then grunts as he continues to run frantically to find any sort of cover to hide from the hunting angels above, thinking to himself, "There's got to be something around here. How can this massive planet not have even a hint of life? It's basically a glorified moon." Finally, this will do for now. But eventually though, Vegito does find himself at the foot of a large cave entrance. Pitch black inside, he decides to enter with his godly energy signature completely untraceable. But once inside and calming down in the darkness, he begins to think on his next moves, still grabbing onto his bloody shoulder, trying to remain conscious. They should have recovered from that solar flare by now, but they'll never figure out I'm here. They probably think I escaped with the staff, or even my current time rings. But there's no way in hell I'm leaving without that arm. Each of those rings provides instant access to another timeline. And on top of that, if I get that arm soon enough, I'll still be able to reattach it. Oh, we know exactly how important that arm is to you, demon! But suddenly, Vegito's calm thoughts are interrupted by a pair of familiar voices creepily yelling at him in tandem. Vegito slowly turns his head into the darkness, seeing nothing at first as he comments, "What the? Who's there? No, it couldn't be!" And in a scene straight out of a horror flick, two pairs of demonic looking eyes with two creepy grins to match suddenly appear from within the darkness. Through whatever means, the angels have found Vegito, and there is no way to escape. So our story continues with Ultra Vegito standing in fear, still only with one arm leaking blood even as we speak, and behind him the same dual angels who have just inexplicably hunted him down even in the darkest of caves. But soon the fear and panic of Vegito's face switches back to anger and annoyance at the situation as he thinks to himself, "I was kidding myself if I thought I could outrun two angels. Each of their staffs can probably tell where I am at any given moment. I can't lie, this is bad. With my energy this low, coupled with the blood loss, I'm completely outmatched. There's only one way out of this." And having thought this, to our surprise as an audience, within Vegito's last remaining arm, a shining ball of energy begins to form in the palm of his hand. And just like that, Vegito suddenly throws a noticeably unimpressive beam of energy seemingly straight at the angels. But surely, this couldn't be what he meant as a way out. Similarly, the petite angel Kusu watches on with a truly conceited smirk as she stares at the oncoming beam and comments, "Well, Mojito, would you look at that? How far the mighty have fallen. Does he really think that level of attack will do anything to us? How pointless." "Sister, what did..." But to the shock of both the angel and us, the beam suddenly shifts directions mid-flight, shooting instead straight into the air, missing the confused angels by mere inches. At first, Kusu remains suspicious, commenting, "That sly Saiyan. Vegito, stay on guard. He's probably planning to attack us from the front now." But unexpectedly, the beam hits the ceiling of the cave with impact, instantly breaking apart the very foundations of what held the cave together. What the? No! Vegito, move! But in the darkness of the cave, the entire structure then begins to collapse on top of the divine creatures, as Vegito shoots out at the last second with speed, his 2 fingers now placed on his forehead, ready to do only one thing, as he thinks, "Got him! That should slow them down just enough for me to get my arm back and leave this damn universe. I just need to remember where that arm was. There should still be some energy traces left over there." Now, as his body begins to vanish, Vegito yells out, "Got it! It's still over there! Thank God those damn angels left it alone!" And just like that, Ultra Vegito appears instantly back in the emptiness of space, now right next to his severed arm, yelling out, "There you are, little buddy! Give me those rings!" As Vegito reaches towards them, a smile appears across the Saiyan's face as he realizes, "Without any oxygen in space, my arm is still in perfect condition. All I have to do is get this to someone fast and I can reattach it in no time." But suddenly, in the classic style of Vegito's turmoil-filled life, he suddenly notices something behind him. Something not animate, but dangerous nevertheless. What? And to his and our shock, right below Vegito, as if following him, is a massive beam of energy, enough to vaporize anyone. There's barely any time though, as the key beam becomes so close it is now near undodgeable in Vegito's current state, as his entire body soon now becomes engulfed in the light, only leaving him to mutter helplessly, "No! Where is this coming from?" And just like that, Vegito is completely trapped as the blast covers his entire body. Not exploding, but instead shooting past him as if Vegito wasn't even the primary target. As the beam eventually leaves the vicinity into the depths of space, Vegito slowly moves his arm from covering his face. He's now slightly more damaged than before, but hardly near death, as expected, as he comments, "It's over. That was all? Maybe I've overestimated these damn angels. They might have been weakened just as much as I have after all this time. That attack was pathetic. But regardless, I'm still getting my arm first and..." No! No! But soon, the real aim of that blast is revealed, as not even a trace of Vegito's severed arm remains, now having been completely reduced to nothing but dust, including the many rings that were on them too. "How dare you! Who did this?" Immediately causing the fused Saiyan to roar in unkempt rage, his plans and hopes to regain his limb now completely shattered, and because of a stray energy blast. But soon, some common sense comes back to Vegito as he looks down at the planet below, realizing it's the exact direction the beam came from. For a moment, he thinks in his mind silently, It couldn't be the angels. They couldn't have freed themselves so fast. There's nothing down there. What on earth could have done this? But as Vegito looks down and the scene begins to zoom in, his worst fears are brought to light as from the surface of the planet, exactly where the beam had come from, lay 2 familiar figures. 2 two figures who only bring back fury into Vegito's heart, knowing the gods had robbed him once more of his happiness as he grumbles internally, You damn angels! I may have lost my arm, but I promise you will lose everything in return, no matter what depths I have to fall. But standing tall on the surface of the planet, just to confirm Vegito's eyesight, is Mojito with a smirk and his arm outreached, and his palm still smoking from where he had just been the one to blast that earlier key beam. As the equally smiling Kusu comments next to him, "Nice shot, brother. You haven't lost your touch at all. Just look at his face. The fool should know by now. He's not going anywhere as long as we're around. Wherever he goes, wherever he hides, he will never stand a chance against us. Let alone father, with him being a cripple now. Poor mortal." While Mojito adds on, "Haha, it's true. This Vegito's power was overwhelming before. But with the energy he's wasted so far, and with just one arm, he's back to being nothing more than a Universe 7 lowlife. It's a shame we had to destroy a time ring, but robbing this demon of one of his limbs is priceless." Kusu, though, being the older sister and wiser, then responds cautiously, but still with a smile, "Haha, it may be true he's significantly weaker now, but don't let your guard down, Mojito. You know he's been holding back, right? This form he's been using against you is not what he used against Lord Rumchi and the Supreme Kais. I watched it all go down on my staff. He'll be down here soon to face us at his full power, I'm sure of it. We can just wait here. He won't run, not now that we've hurt his fragile ego." Huh? Which immediately piques Mojito's concern as he softly queries back, This isn't his final form? What has he been hiding?" "Then so be it! I don't even need a second arm to destroy you, brats!" As instantly, just as Kusu had worried, Ultra Vegito finally decides enough is enough and powers up to his Ultra form, combining Goku's mastered Ultra Instinct and Vegeta's perfected Ultra Ego, losing his eyebrows, gaining dark purple hair down the sides of his locks, and now dark black flames that burst forth from his body. And now from above, looking down on the planet ironically like a god himself, he opens his palm towards the planet and thinks, "It hurts me deeply to do what a god of destruction does, especially emulating exactly what Sidra did to me. But this is the only fitting way to end this. The perfect, ironic ending for two pathetic angels who think they know my every move." And with a commanding look and voice, he then shouts down, "I hope you damn angels are enjoying it down there, because you will not be leaving. You took everything from me and now found a way to take even more. Well played, but the winner here will always be me!" As from the depths of space, way above the mystery planet, Ultra Vegito instantly powers up a humongous ball of Hakai energy that begins to dwarf even his own body, and can be used only to perform one action. What? Mojito, up there! Which ultimately strikes fear even into the once confident Kusu, as she realizes what this looks like and comments, He wouldn't. Is he planning to erase this entire planet and every mortal on it just to get rid of us? Surely not, Mojito. But Mojito, who knows Vegito's motives well, remains completely calm and informs his sister. It's a bluff, Kusu. This mortal just screamed and yelled at Lord Cedra for erasing Basil's planet just to get him. His very goal is to punish us gods forever ruling and choosing which mortals live and die in our universes. So I can assure you, there isn't even a chance he would do the same for the sake of us. That is, of course, unless he wants to become the very thing he hates. It's an impossibility. Just look around. All this life... Huh? Wait. But suddenly, something dawns on Mojito as he looks around side to side on the planet and finally notices the very first observation made when Vegito landed on this planet. There is no life force on this chunk of rock. Nothing but empty landscape. Kusu! I may have made a mistake here! While the equally paralyzed in fear sister mumbles back, No, don't tell me! Don't tell me he planned this! Did he lure us here, or did we force him down here? Mojito! Who is this mortal? I am the God Killer. Kai! And with the most ferocious yell Ultra Vegito has ever given in history, he screams with a one-handed Hakai that looks almost like a throwback to Team Gohan's one-handed Kamehameha. Just so that on the surface, the massive Hakai reaches instantly to the feet of Kusu and Mojito. So fast that Ultra Instinct or not, there was no dodging or escaping this one, as the destructive energy rips through the entire landscape, making the two angels now appear like mere ants before it. In a fruitless effort, Mojito turns his back to attempt to fly off at full speed, yelling, Kusu, run! We have to make it off here now! But the wise young girl knows only to reply, No, it's over, dear brother. As just like that, as if frozen in time, a testament to just how fast Ultra Vegito performed his planetary level Hakai, both Kusu and Mojito returned to dust, erased forever and never to be seen again. Brother and sister, just two more gods to fall to Ultra Vegito's wrath. And for a moment, the once peaceful but empty planet remains whole, until suddenly, just like that, it too completely vanishes from the universe along with its only two inhabitants. And as the debris and dust of the planet floats off into the never-ending abyss of space, Ultra Vegito stands above, watching coldly as he comments, That was embarrassing! How could two lowly angels like that cause me this many problems? I don't care I haven't rested since training that year with Gogeta. They took my damn arm! I have no control over Whis' staff to be able to heal myself. When these things happen, I'm on my own. Now what the hell do I do? And without saying a word more of his plan, if any, he uses his remaining time rings with the last of his power and reaches out his hand yelling, Take me back to Universe 7! Then opening a massive portal once again to another random timeline, at least assured to be in his own universe. Could this be back to Gogeta to check on what happened with Beerus and Whis, or something else? Even Ultra Vegito couldn't know. And soon enough, we see just the last part of Vegito's leg as he enters into the unknown. And on the other side, Ultra Vegito finally leaves the portal, confused as normal as he seems to enter unfamiliar territory. He's within a cave, but there are remnants of technology all around him. As he looks around, he thinks to himself, "What is this? These time rings must have malfunctioned. I said Universe 7, but this looks nothing like what I'm used to. Is this some kind of far future?" But soon we see a look from the outside. The surroundings sure do look like Earth. But interestingly, the cave Vegito is in also seems familiar to any OG Dragon Ball Z fans. I need to get away from those fools. I need 17 and 18. As shockingly, we then see a damaged Dr. Gero, aka Android 20, running frantically towards a large metal door. Soon he reaches it and looks up saying, "Ah, finally it's here, my lab." Before then punching in a complex and encrypted code into the door reader, which automatically then finally opens the laboratory door wide open as he yells, "Here we go, I'm almost there. I win this time, Goku!" As the elderly android then enters excitedly into his lab and immediately begins to think on his next steps, saying, "Right, they shouldn't be able to find my lab for a while. As long as I remain quiet, I can make the necessary adjustments to activate 17 and 18. They will be more than enough. No need to activate 16 just yet. He is still completely untested. His power could prove too strong to control anyway. All I need to do first is..." What? Who goes there? But suddenly, as Dr. Gero thinks, the heightened senses of the android suddenly detect the slight movements of someone nearby. As shockingly, Dr. Gero then turns around and sees none other than Ultra Vegito, standing facing him unflinchingly, still leaking blood onto the floor as Gero yells, "What is the meaning of this? Who are you?" While Ultra Vegito remains deathly silent, at least for now. But that was it for today's video, guys, and if you made it this far, leave me a hashtag color in the comments down below and head over to my new Patreon right now to see the next episode with this insane artwork. Ultra Vegito fully colored, voice acted, soundtracked and edited the way it was always meant to be seen. Starting from just $3, it's the deal of the century.